Hello, this is the last episode about the dark energy model. Summary. I will present all the topics discussed earlier. A quick reminder. I will show you the flow of dark energy again, but this time more precisely, the law of the flow of dark energy. This was explained in episode 6, Verification. I hope I can explain this more precisely than before. This is very important. This is a key parameter entire dark energy model. The relationships are shown. Gravitational energy is equivalent to dark energy and vice versa. The force of gravity is also related to these two parameters. The gravitational force is generated by dark energy flow. That's how it works in this model. It's shown schematically here. Dark energy and vacuum energy are synonyms. Different expressions that mean the same thing. Similarly, like zero-field energy, it is also a synonym for dark energy. Yes, similar to gravitational energy that is inside an object. Gravitational energy exactly corresponds to dark energy, dark matter. Dark matter in my model is dark energy. In other words, there is no dark matter, there is only dark energy. Here is a view of dark energy flowing into the object. Simple animation. You can imagine the process. As a reminder, dark energy is difficult to measure, but you already know that the gravitational energy is easy to calculate. Dark energy and gravitational energy have the same value. Gravitational energy can only be calculated for layers on an object. We have calculated parameters for all layers, various physical parameters, including gravitational energy. The sum of the energies for the layers is the total gravitational energy. The value of dark energy is identical. What flows into an object is absorbed by that object. Why is energy absorbed? The answer is quantum gravity. Orbiting electrons generate magnetic fields. All atoms, the entire mass of an object. Magnetic fields have energy. A magnetic field consists of energy and simply does not exist without it. Energy of a quantum coil. The number of electrons is identical to the number of quantum coils. For a massive object, this is a very large number, extreme number. Quantum coils absorb energy. Even King Solomon couldn't pour from an empty vessel. The energy that it lost comes from the vacuum, the energy of zero field, dark energy. For a star, for the entire galaxy. Galactic integrity. The galaxy is not splitting into pieces. The current theory is that this is the influence of dark matter. Dark matter prevents stars from leaving the galaxy. Here, it's different. In this model, dark matter doesn't exist. It is dark energy that is responsible for the integrity of the galaxy. Only dark energy. An energy vortex is created. Energy flows in from outer space. The galaxy absorbs this energy from outside. Stars can't leave the galaxy even if they wanted to. They will be stopped by incoming energy flow. The stars, of course, have freedom of movement, but not 100%. They will not escape far. They are led on a short leash. Dark energy is equivalent to dark matter. Symbolically, until now, the postulate of dark matter has dominated. Now, dark energy takes control and leads. In the presented model, it is dark energy that is responsible for the integrity of the galaxy and other parameters. Runaway galaxy, a very distant galaxy with an observable redshift effect, a shift of the wavelengths toward the red. Dark energy is responsible for the redshift. This is not the influence of the Doppler effect. The loss of dark energy creates the redshift phenomenon. Here is a drawing. The spectrum of stars in Galaxy 2 is redshifted. These are astronomical observations. Astronomers observe all this. This phenomenon is interpreted as the Doppler effect. However, this is not correct interpretation. Time passes. Thousands of years pass. Millions of years. Billions of years. The vacuum energy, the zero-field energy, the dark energy is absorbed and decreases. The photons emitted by the first galaxy will take a long time to reach the second galaxy. Millions of years. Billions of years. The density of dark energy will decrease during this time. In proportion to the passage of time, photons will also lose some of their energy. Then the wavelength will shift. The spectrum of waves will shift toward red. A redshift phenomenon will occur. Summary of the whole theory. Dark energy is the source of gravity. The gravity of massive objects, planets, stars, black holes probably too, redshift, dark energy. The change in the density of dark energy generates the redshift phenomenon, shift of the wavelength spectrum towards the red. The flow of dark energy generates another phenomenon, galactic integrity. Quantum gravity is strongly connected with dark energy. Quantum coil, energy of generated magnetic field. Every mass constantly absorbs vacuum energy. Slide board. The relationship of dark energy to other physical phenomena. Now, I want to show you once again the law of dark energy flow. Energy flow is responsible for all physical phenomena presented. This is the most important thing in the whole theory. This was already presented in episode 6, verification. Now I'll show you a slightly different version. This is the improved version. This is probably a better explanation of this phenomenon. The most important element of the theory. The situation shown is similar to the previous one, only the object has changed. A star is placed in a center. The r1 distance is the distance from the center of the star to its surface. It may be a sphere located close to the star's surface. The distance r2 is the radius of the distant sphere, the sphere located far from the star's surface. These are not rings, these are spheres. I will show you this phenomenon with an example. River. The flow of water in a river. Look at this place. Cross-section A. Here is a narrowing of the river. Water flows. The speed of water flow at this point has a certain value. Look at this place. Cross-section B. Here is a wide cross-section of river. Water flows. The speed of the water flow in this place is different from before. The speed of water is lower. Why? The density of water at point A is identical to the density of water at point B. The density of water has a constant value. The density of water is constant throughout the river. The amount of water flowing through the river is constant. A certain amount of water flows through cross-section A. Exactly the same amount of water flows through cross-section B. Some parameter has to change. It is the water flow rate. The speed of water flow through cross-section B is lower. The speed of water flow through cross-section A is greater. The amount of water flowing is exactly the same in both cases. The flow of water in a river is similar to the flow of dark energy.
Musi być taka sama. A gęstość jej również jest taka sama, więc to prędkość musi się tutaj zmieniać. Będzie tą zmienną, tak? W tym przepływie wody, w rzece. I wracamy.
We return to the main problem. The flow of dark energy through both spheres. The first sphere, S1, has a smaller surface area. The second sphere, S2, has a larger surface area. We will write down the flow equation. On the left side of the equation are the parameters of the first sphere. Energy flows through the first surface area. The same energy flows through the second surface area. The energy value is exactly the same in both cases. The value of the first surface area, S1, differs significantly from the second surface area, S2. The first sphere differs from the second sphere. On the right side of the equation are the parameters of the second sphere. The second sphere is farther away from the object, S2. The surface is larger. The speed of energy flow must be smaller, V2. The energy value is exactly the same in both cases. Therefore, the energy symbol can be reduced. This variable can be removed. The equation takes a simplified form. Variable V1 can be moved to the other side of equation. Variable S2 can also be moved to the other side of equation. The surface area of a sphere is 4 pi r squared. Similarly, for the first and the second spheres.
Pole tej drugiej sfery oddalonej to będzie 4pi r2 do kwadratu.
We substitute the surface area equations into the main equation. 4 pi can be reduced. The equation takes on a new form.
Równanie przyjmie taką oto postać.
Here, I will show the equations a little differently than before. Episode 6, Verification. Note that velocity can be represented as a velocity difference. The variable v1 can be represented as the velocity difference delta v1. The variable v2 can be represented as the velocity difference delta v2. The velocity difference delta v1 is the velocity v1 minus v0. v0 is equal to 0. Why? Example 1. We are temporarily turning off the absorption of dark energy by stars. Stars, planets, black holes. The flow of dark energy stops. No flow of dark energy. The velocity of the energy flow is 0. Right? Example 2. We turn on the absorption of dark energy by stars. The flow of dark energy is normal. Far from the star, the velocity of the energy flow is low. The velocity of the energy flow is close to 0. It is possible that its value is 0. Therefore, the velocity of energy flow is 0 in regions very far from the star.
To znaczy o polu powierzchni P1 położonej w pobliżu powierzchni gwiazdy.
For the first sphere, the velocity v1 is marked by delta v1. This is just a mathematical formalism. This is important. I'll show you in a moment why this is important.
To jest to samo co V1. To takie, wiecie, matematyczne formalizmy. No ale one są ważne. Ważne są, bo za chwilę wam pokażę dlaczego są tak ważne.
Here at the bottom we see exactly the same thing, but for the second sphere. Very difficult calculations. The equation takes a new form.
Za V2 delta V2 i za V1 delta V1. Proszę bardzo.
Acceleration definition. Velocity difference over time. The velocity difference is already known.
To jest wzór definicyjny. Taka jest definicja przyspieszenia w ogóle.
The first and second equations are very similar.
A1 to będzie dv1 po dt, a przyspieszenie drugie, A2, to będzie dv2 po dt. Ten czas dt możemy sobie różnie określić. Może to być 10 sekund, 1 sekunda.
The time value can take any value, but it should be small.
Im mniejsze teoretycznie, tym lepiej, ale jakieś tam zakładamy.
The variable delta t is the same in both equations.
Zarówno dla pierwszej sfery,
Acceleration can be expressed as the difference in velocity.
Po przerzuceniu czasu na drugą stronę otrzymujemy, że delta v1 to jest przyspieszenie a1 razy dt.
Similarly, for the
A
second
delta v2
equation,
to jest przyspieszenie a2 razy dt. I teraz
we substitute the obtained results into the main equation.
w to miejsce i mamy
The equation takes on a new
takie
form.
równanie.
Variable delta t can be
Dt się
reduced.
skraca od razu
The
do
equation
i
takes
równanie
on a
się
new form.
postać taką.
The last mathematical
Przerzucamy
operation,
A1
the
na
variable
drugą stronę.
a1 can be moved to the other side of the equation. The
Mamy
equation
wprowadzony
takes on its
ten sam
final
wzór co
form.
poprzedni.
The new equation
Odrobinę
is
inaczej
identical
niż
to the
poprzedni,
previous
w
one.
poprzednim odcinku
Episode
tam
6,
dla weryfikacji.
Verification. The mathematical
Ale idea jest ta
analysis was slightly
Mam nadzieję,
different.
że
The idea is
trochę
the
lepiej
same.
nawet
It is
wytłumaczona
possible
niż
that it's
poprzedni.
better shown than before. The flow of dark energy is the key.
Energii, ciemnej energii ma tutaj kluczowe znaczenie, żeby to zrozumieć. I zobaczcie,
On the right,
że siła
the force of
grawitacji,
gravity,
czyli prawo Newtona,
Newton's
prawo
law.
powszechnego Newtona, znajduje się tutaj.
Gravitational acceleration based on Newton's law.
Również z tego prawa Newtona, tutaj pod spodem. I jeżeli
If we studied the gravitational acceleration on the surface of an object,
czy to planety,
stars
czy
or
gwiazdy,
planets,
tu
sphere
będzie
with
R1
radius
w tym wypadku, tak?
r1,
No to
right,
przyspieszenie
then the
grawitacyjne
gravitational acceleration
zacznie
will
postać
take a value
i R1
A1.
tutaj w tym
Here,
wzorze Newtona. Czyli
in
A1 to
Newton's
będzie
equation,
przyspieszenie
the radius will take the
pochodzące z
value
prawa powszechnego
r1.
ciążenia
R
Newtona.
is
Czyli
equal
A1
r1.
znamy. Promień obiektu, ten R1 również znamy. I przyspieszenie grawitacyjne gdzieś odległe od obiektu to
Here
A2.
is the model file shown. This has already been
Również
discussed.
jesteśmy w stanie
Episode 6,
obliczyć.
Verification.
I tutaj jest pokazany plik z modelem, ten dla weryfikacji. Tutaj równania są takie same, więc już może nie
Both
będę go
equations
omawiał.
are identical. The numerical results
Wykres
of the
funkcji
simulation are
przyspieszenia
identical.
grawitacyjnego,
A graph
zarówno
of
dla
gravitational
prawa
acceleration
Newtona,
as
tego
a
tutaj,
function of distance
i
from an object.
dla
The gravitational
prawa
acceleration
przepływu
equation
ciemnej
for
energii.
Newton's law, dark
Te
energy
też
flow
są
equation.
dokładnie
The
takie
numerical
same.
results of the
Idealnie
simulations
takie same.
are identical. These are two forms for one physical phenomenon, the flow of dark energy.
Ale wartość
Newton's law of gravity is known.
oddaje dokładnie
All
takie
variables
same.
are known.
I o ile
What is gravity?
w prawie
This is
powszechnego ciążenia
unknown.
Newtona
How
bardzo
does
wiele,
gravity
dlaczego to
work?
prawo
This is
akurat ma
unknown.
taką postać. Wiadomo, czym są poszczególne zmienne, rzecz jasna, ale nie wiadomo, dlaczego akurat tak to jest skonstruowane. O
In
tyle
my
w
theory, everything is explained. What is gravity? Gravity is the flow of dark energy.
I jej ilość zarówno dla małej
How
sfery,
does
jak i
gravity
dużej
work?
musi być taka sama,
Quantum coil
i że
absorbs energy.
gęstość tej ciemnej
Energy flows from space.
oddalonej gdzieś
The rate of energy flow
bardzo
is
daleko,
variable and
blisko
depends on the
przypowierzchni
distance from the
Oumuamua, w
object.
samym
The rate
obiekcie
of energy flow
jest
must be
ciemna energia,
variable
pamiętajcie, nie
because the
masa,
energy
tylko
density
ciemna
must be
energia,
constant.
ona wewnątrz
The
prostoru
density of
musi
dark energy is
No,
constant
dlatego
at the same time
samą
in all
gęstość
universe.
w środku gwiazdy,
Near
jak i
the
na
object,
powierzchni, jak i gdzieś
inside
daleko,
the object,
a
far
przynajmniej
from the
bardzo
object.
zbliżoną. Więc
Energy
gęstość tej
density
ciemnej
is
energii
constant.
nie ulega
Energy
żadnej
flow rate is
zmianie.
variable. Everything
Tylko
should be
tempo
clear now.
przepływu może
This is an important
być tutaj
thing,
regulatorem,
key
tak?
to the whole
Musi
dark
być tutaj
energy model.
regulatorem to ta
So I
prędkość,
wanted to show you this
ta
again.
różnica prędkości lub to przyspieszenie. Tak? Także tutaj już wszystko powinno być jasne i rozumiemy, skąd to prawo.
This is a summary.
Dziękuję
Thanks
za
for
uwagę.
watching.
No i
Bye.
na razie. Cześć!